Hi, I wanted to talk to you today about when I was 15 years old. I left home and lived in my car. I scrubbed toilets to survive. I did whatever I had to do, meaning to make ends meet. I don't think that if you would have told that scared little girl back then that I'd be here right now at 55 telling you my story. Well, most people know me as Tracy Joe. I like to talk about healing and self-care and beauty, facelift, menopause, all those things that we go through. So here I am. And I want to tell you why I left home at 15 and what was the final, you know, what made me finally decide to bite the bullet, right? So I was living like most young kids and kids today. They live in two separate homes, right? Mom and dad get divorced, parents have different spouses, and so I lived with my mother. And so my mother's husband was not a good person, and I lived through a ton of abuse, and it was pretty horrifying. So I decided, because I lived my life of, we would move all the time. And I was always changing, like, I learned so young how to change, the door handles and stuff, ones that don't have locks, and you find a door handle that has a lock, and that's the first thing I would do was change the door locks. But, unlike today, the old door locks, you could always pop them and open them real quick. But it was a lot of abuse, a lot of physical abuse of all kinds. I probably lived most of my young childhood in bruises and, you know, just beaten up with brooms and whatever he could find or his fist. And it was more, right? And I'll get into those things later. And so I just decided, I kept saying one day I'm going to leave. My dad, who lived in San Antonio, and I was in Houston, Texas with my mother and her husband, he had bought me a car at 15. And he's like, Joe, just be very responsible. I don't want you driving without an adult. But he wanted me to have a car. He didn't know anything about my life. I'd never told my dad. My dad was my sunshine, right? Like he's that light that always you can go to and you can forget about the bad. That's what I did. I went to San Antonio, picked up my car. He trusted me implicitly. And that's, the only thing is, I didn't leave home with an adult. I left home with me, myself and I, and all my clothes that could fit in my car. And that was it. And back then, there was no such thing as cell phones. I think pagers might have been coming out. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. And my mother, she was a property manager. And so I went on to the property that she was working at. And that's where I parked my car, and that's where I slept. So I ended up talking to her, and I told her I would never come back home. So she gave me an opportunity to work at those apartments that she was managing, and I would clean toilets, clean the floors, clean the bathrooms, the kitchens, whatever had to be done. So I'm gonna tell you, it was pretty gross. People were gross. I didn't realize how gross people could get, but I was opening refrigerators with maggots in them and cleaning them, and there was just, I don't even want to tell you, it was gross. But you know what? It's okay, because little did I know it then, because if you would have told that scared little girl then that I would be a survivor and a fighter, and I would be sitting here right now telling my story to all you ladies out there, young girls, no matter how old, all you females, all of these stories. I would have never in a million years have believed that. But I'm here. So I did what I had to do. Eventually, she said, back then, I don't know if they still do or not, but they had model apartments. And that's when they would show, prospective residents, to kind of get an idea what they look like. And she says, okay, you can stay in the model apartment, but you have to be up every morning at a certain time, which I don't remember what that was, and have it all cleaned up and have all your stuff out of there and back in your car. And I was like, okay, I had air condition and a toilet and all those things, right? So it was awesome. I mean, I thought I was on cloud nine, baby. Like, no more abuse, no more of this. I'm not totally in my car. I was living in a beautiful furnished apartment. Not actually quote living, but putting my head down at night. So I loved it. It was like River Oaks or something, or I don't know. It was amazing. But so I did, and moved forward a little bit. I just kept going on my journey, right? And I decided that I was not going to just succumb to everything. I was going to do what I had to do. And I think that if there's anyone, any female of any age that's in a situation of any part of what I've talked about, truly understand that you don't have to succumb to that, right? You are strong no matter how down you are right now and how beaten up you've been, because abusers or whatever the situation is, I don't want to talk negative about things. I try to stay positive, but I want women to understand that, or females. I'm trying not to be to where I'm just put in a certain age group, okay? Because look at me, I was 15 when I was going through that, and I left, right? So I just want you to know that you can do it. Just know that there is hope, and I think these days there's a lot more out there to help. There's churches and shelters and different things like that. But the thing is that a lot of, at least when it was me, I didn't want to tell anybody what I was going through. I was embarrassed and ashamed, and I kept thinking everything was my fault. And so I just kept it to myself. My mother, of course, knew about it. And one of my brothers, he knew about it. But I have 5 brothers. I lost one brother, which is the youngest brother, but older than me. Back on 9/11, during COVID, and he went through everything that I was going through. So, and a lot of times he would step up and take the brunt of all of it. And he was just that person, right? He was a good brother. So he left, and then I was alone. So that's what I'm saying. I finally just left, right? Myself. He had a home to go to. I didn't. I really could have went to my dad's, but again, when I'm telling you, I thought everything was my fault. Why would I go tell my dad? Because I'm thinking that if I'm ashamed and I did all these horrible things, one thing I never wanted to do is disappoint my dad. But what do you know? What do we know when we're going through all that, right? The biggest thing I learned after all these years and growing is that those people, whether it's a female or male doing it to you, whatever kind of abuse it is, they truly do beat you down and make you feel like it's your fault, right? I mean, if anybody's listening to this and going through it, but it's not. I just want you to know that I now am 55. I am strong. I have a voice that I have learned to use. Oh, my family can tell you about that too. So, but it's okay. They know if my voice gets high, oh yeah, mom is pissed off, right? So, but it's okay. My kids and I have an amazing relationship. So, I have 4 boys, and two of them I have that are home still. I have a wonderful relationship. My older two and I don't, and that's a whole nother story. Because life isn't perfect, right? There's always something. It's okay. You know what? Eventually things change and they either get better or they don't in that situation. But when it comes back to you as the individual, you're in control of your own destiny. And I know it sounds crazy to say that because you think that I'm here where I'm at, so oh yeah, she can say that. No. You truly are in control of your own destiny, and do not let anybody else control that. Because that is the worst thing you could ever do. And don't ever let anybody tell you can't do anything but the best. And that is one thing I will say, is my dad always would tell me, and he would write on the back of his pictures that he would give to me, he'd always say, Joe, you can do anything you want to do or be anything you want to be in this world as long as you put your mind to it. And you know what? That is so true, huh? I'm telling you. And if you don't know that, take that. Take what I just said and use it for yourself. Because it is true. And you have to learn to believe it. And that's what I have one son right now that struggles in his life. And I told him that the other day. I said, you know what your grandpa used to tell me all the time? And it gave me, at the time, it gave me encouragement, but I didn't realize it till I got older, the encouragement that it actually gave me. And I told him. And he says, I like that. I said, exactly. So anyone and every one of you ladies that are going through something, please understand you can get better. You can fix it. You can get out of it. You can change the situation. And my whole journey here and everything that I'm doing is to talk about all these things from my childhood up to date at 55, because I've been through a lot. I've been through things that most people will never go through in their lifetime. And that's okay. I take everything that I've went through, and I take it as, and it sounds kind of weird, and everybody has their own way of doing it, but I take it as a positive. It taught me not to do that. It taught me not to do that, and it taught me I'm going to be better than that. And when it came to my kids, exactly the same thing. So it's all about the perspective of it. I mean, how you want to use whatever has happened in your life or happening right now to better yourself, because you can. And all I want, my goal with all of this that I am going to be talking about through my entire YouTube channel is from childhood, abuse, recovery, healing, self-care, menopause, peptides, NAD. I mean, I'm going to this full realm of everything. Facelifts, recovery of that, whatever it may be. Like, I've got this whole life story, and because it was so crazy that I think in my heart that there's a lot of women that feel they need that they need that link, right? And I didn't have any of that. With technology today, it's amazing. And if I would have had this then that I could just clicked on your phone, oh my gosh. But it's okay, because now I feel like I'm so strong and I'm positive, and I've learned to surround myself with positive people. I have no space, no room in my life for negative people. And there's no exception, because it's not worth it. Once you go through certain things in your life, you've learned what is worth it and what is not, and what you're going to tolerate and what you're not. And no longer will I tolerate any of that negativity or that part of my life that of feeling the helpless, because I'm not helpless. You're not helpless. None of us are. And we're all going to make it through it. And whatever it is you're going through, I wish that you all the best. I would, if you're watching this, I'd love for you to talk to me, ask me things, tell me your story. My goal later is to hopefully be able to have a live podcast. That's my goal. Ladies, hope all of y'all are safe and healthy and have a wonderful evening. And remember, log into my podcast or my YouTube channel, hoping to have a podcast one day. And I will answer all of your questions, whatever they may be. All right, have a wonderful evening, ladies. Good night.